So recently one of you guys asked a question regarding the Qliphoth, and that is, do you need to know how to astral project to go through the Qliphoth, and by extension I suppose any pathworking similar to that? Well, I'm here to answer that, so let's get into it. Alright, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. This channel is a safe space and community. You can ask questions, share things. We don't judge here. If you want to join, hit subscribe. And if you want to support me in the channel, all of my links are below, and I'd be so grateful if you could check it out. I offer readings. I've got Patreon. I'm teaching a lot on there. We're going through our own path working on there as well. Anyone who does check it out, thank you so much, because you help me do what I do and keep making videos, so thank you. If you are new to what the Qliphoth is, let me explain it in a nutshell. There is something called the Sephiroth, or the Tree of Life, and the Qliphoth is its counterpart, the Tree of Death, and it's found in Qabbalah. The Qabbalah I do is Qabbalah with a Q, not to be confused with Qabbalah with a K. Qabbalah with a K is Jewish mysticism. Qabbalah with a Q is Hermetic Qabbalah, and the Hermetic principles is looking at, I guess, the meaning of life, different symbolism, drawing inspiration from different religions, esoteric orders, symbolism, alchemy, you know, there's all sorts going on, okay? But in a nutshell, either side of the tree, you go through each sphere, and it's alchemy that you do. It's deep shadow work. You are going through parts of your psyche. It's a personal journey, and you're integrating parts of yourself that weren't healed, learning more about yourself and the universe. And it's deep thought. It really is. It's very philosophical, and by extension, no two persons' journeys are ever going to be the same, because it's personal to you. There are many different takes on it as well, and each to their own. Especially with the Qliphoth, there is a lot of fear-mongering, edgy kind of takes, but if that's what you want to do, you do it, whatever. For me, that's not the way I approached it. I approached it on a very humble, personal level, and like I say, it was personal to me. It was my own journey through my own, well, technically my own personal hell, because it's the Tree of Death, and therefore you're shedding things, you're facing your fears, you're going through stuff. Now, when I say you're approaching these things and going through things, there are many ways that these things can manifest. So some people do rituals and spells and things like this. There is absolutely no need to do that. You don't have to do that, but some people like to. Each their own. You can confront these things in your everyday life, and I do find that regardless of the approach you are taking, from people I have asked as well, and from my own personal journey, things manifested in my life in the physical, like situations that I'd have to face that reflected what I was going through, like testing of boundaries, testing of belief, and things like this. So you will be faced with challenges in your living physical world as well. But a lot of this I meditated on, and I did astral project, yes. Is it a requirement to do? No, but it will make it a lot easier for you. I would say to at least be meditating, thinking about things, sitting with those things, and seeing if you get any answers, any solutions to what it is you're thinking about, anything that crops up from deep in the psyche even, what thoughts come to mind, what can you work through. You know, I would very much say that you do need to be practicing meditation, but I accept that not everyone knows how to astral project. It doesn't come easy to everyone, nor should it, if I'm honest. So that side of things is not always going to be accessible to everyone. For my personal journey, a lot of experiences did happen astrally, but this is my experience. I do find that, especially with the Qliphoth, because of the very nature of it, the tree of death, because you are shedding a lot of stressful things, a lot of dark things that you don't like to face about yourself, you do feel stressed sometimes and upset and tired, and you want to cry. You want to get angry sometimes. These base emotions come out, and I do personally find when I am faced with those emotions anyways, Qliphoth or not, my psychic gifts can get muddied. I am not as able to connect, not as easy to do even readings, when I was going through the Qliphoth, to be able to do readings for other people took a lot. It took a lot of energy, it really did. My job was pretty difficult for a time. So if you are going through that, and even if you can astral project, don't worry if you suddenly find you're not able to, or you suddenly find you can't connect as easy as you used to, because you're dealing with a lot of heavy negative things that naturally it's going to mar your psychic abilities, your ability to connect. I found that with some of the deeper spheres, I wasn't really astral projecting. I wasn't really having those moments. Even if I tried, it didn't come to me naturally. The belief in a Sephiroth or Qliphoth journey in a spiritual sense, not just psychological, is the belief that your higher self, your spirit, is traversing these realms. It's wherever you may be, you are there in the astral, in the spiritual realm. Whatever you want to say that is, whether you want to say it's a construct, it's egregoric, it's something that many people believe in and therefore manifest it, whatever it may be, you are still in that realm, in that sphere, in that space. So even though you're living your physical life, and even if you can't connect, things are still manifesting for you. Situations to do with what you're going through are still manifesting. You're still having to deal with those emotions, that deep alchemical change on a soul level, that it doesn't really matter in a way if you can astral project or not. So even if you feel blocked or you're not feeling like you're making sense of it, just trust that you are going through it and pay attention to the things that are happening in your life. There are things that I went through where I was confronted with situations, arguments with people, forced into things that I didn't really want to do and stuff like this. It was still manifesting for me wherever my soul may be, So to do these pathworkings in a spiritual sense, you kind of have to have that belief anyways, whether you have the ability to astral project or not. Yes, it will make some experience easier to understand, but it's not the be-all end-all. Regardless of what some people may think or say, it's your journey. And you're going to get, especially if you're going to be entering the Qliphoth, I've had it myself, you're going to get edgelords telling you're this, that, the other, trying to diminish you, trying to belittle you and say that you're this, that, the other, to elevate themselves. Well, that's the sign of a weak person. And I hate to say it, the Qliphoth really is make or break, okay? And I don't say this to fearmonger, but if you are entering into it, you have to be open-minded, humble, removed from your ego in a way. You have to be going in it for the right reasons. If you go in it wanting power, money, all these superficial things, then it will chew you up and spit you out. It is the tree of death because it is vampiric in nature, and you probably have heard this from other people talking about it. It sucks away all that negative energy, it feeds on that. But if you're not strong enough, and I'm not saying this again to fearmonger or toot my own horn, but I'm speaking in my power, if you are not strong enough to face these fears and to face these things, then you're not going to pass tests and you're going to get essentially stuck in it. And that's what a lot of these edgelords say. and you will get people trying to diminish your power in that regard. But you will know in yourself if you are passing tests or not. I would say this is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's for total beginners either. You need to know what you're doing. You need to at least, be able to accept things about yourself. Key skills, I would say, to go into it is at the very least being able to meditate, being able to accept criticism and listen, and to not be one of those people who just want money, power, whatever. And a form of divination as well. You need to know what's up, you need to be checking in. What sphere are you in? Even though your intuition might say something, maybe it's a test. You need to be able to check in. You need to be able to ask other people as well. So maybe get a reading from somebody else, somebody you don't know, I would recommend. If there are things that you're doubtful of, if you're not trusting in yourself, but ultimately you do have to trust in yourself. That's why I said what I said just a few minutes ago. Stand in your power and speak from your power, regardless of what other people say. It's irrelevant. Their opinion doesn't matter. You're going to find these types, and you've got to be wary of that if you're going to be working the Qliphoth. So I hope this has helped. Yeah, it will help to astral project, but it's not the be all end all, okay? If you've got any other questions, please put them in the comments. I'll make a video about it. I'll share what I know, point you in the right direction, all that jazz. Check out the channel for more. I'll link the playlist at the end. If you made it this far, hit subscribe, and until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.